Hey guys, what's up? It's Matchpoint here, and today I'm going to be talking about the general pros and cons of switching from console to PC. And as well, I'm going to be giving you my first-hand experience, and I'm also going to be giving you my general pros and cons that I've found. As I myself have recently switched from console, Xbox to PC, about just a day ago, and I've already put quite a few hours into the game, so I'll be able to give you my thoughts on that. So let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the first pro, which is better FPS. Now, most consoles are capped at 60 FPS, and the most basic gaming PCs, the lower end, are normally above 60 FPS. Now, FPS is how many frames are displayed on your screen per second. For example, if a game was running at 1 frame per second, you would only be seeing one image every second. This is more akin to a slideshow than a real-time experience, and a game would obviously be unplayable at 1 FPS. So basically, the more frames are rendered and displayed each second, the smoother the experience will be. Moving on to the next pro, which is more control over your aim. Now, a mouse is going to allow you to have a lot more control over your aim than a controller would. Precision aiming is one of the biggest reasons to use a keyboard and mouse. Try aiming at a small point with the controller and then with the mouse. The mouse is going to be much more precise and a faster way to pinpoint a target rather than a controller stick, which is often one of the many reasons why people make that switch, and was one of mine as well. If you take a look at a controller, you can see how many buttons there are, and it's very hard to remap them if you want to set up keybinds, for example, to make it smoother and easier. And you can't really do it on console at all, but when you compare it to a keyboard, it's got so many keys on it and you can bind them to different ones that you want, and therefore it can give you a better overall gaming experience, as you can very easily make your keybinds more efficient and therefore allow you to have that advantage over your opponent. Moving swiftly on to the next pro, which is you have more in-depth settings for your graphics, and these can allow you to boost your FPS, for example, if you lower the graphics settings so they don't look as good in the game, but then your FPS will go up because of that. And also you can raise these graphics settings to the max so you can get the best overall experience when looking at it, although your FPS will be lowered so you won't be seeing as many images on the screen per second. And if we take a look at your customization options that we have in Rainbow Six Siege in the display settings, you can just see how many options you've got to change it, and you can really play around with these settings to get the best experience for you. Whereas on console, this isn't available, and it's a real down factor to it. Now, my biggest problem with console was nobody would speak. I was in game chat when I was solo queuing, seeing if anyone would communicate or give out some callouts, and nobody would. And I'm guessing one of the main reasons why is because there isn't a push to talk button, whereas on keyboard and mouse PC, there is, and within a few hours of playing yesterday, I've already noticed that everyone's speaking, whether it's casual, whether it's ranked, it doesn't matter. And I think it would be a really nice feature to add in a push to talk button for those console players, and it's probably one of the biggest reasons why not many people are speaking over there because of that. And most people don't really want to have their mic on the whole time for various reasons. They just want to give a simple call out, a quick 5-second call out by pressing that push to talk button and then turning it off afterwards. Switching from console to PC also gives you that access to the Rainbow Six Siege test server, where you can try out the new operators and the new reworked map, which is honestly a great bonus to have, and it gives you an advantage over the other players who haven't tried out the test server if they haven't downloaded it yet on PC. And it makes for a great new experience because it's something you haven't tried out before, it's something new, fresh content in the game, and having early access to it is a great bonus to have. And a topic that pops up quite frequently is whether console players should be allowed to lean left and right without aiming down sight. And PC players already have access to this, if you don't know. And in a way, yeah, I do believe console players should be allowed this. I don't know what buttons they'd map it to, but there are a lot of console players giving out suggestions for this, but it doesn't seem to be a topic that Ubisoft themselves are going to be looking into in the near future. And I myself think that if you're not able to lean left and right without aiming down the sight, then you're not getting really the full experience of the game and what it's really like. Now, as well as all of these pros, there are a few cons that we need to talk about. And if this video is helping you out, giving you an insight on what it's like to switch from console to PC, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. So the first con we're going to be talking about is it's more expensive, and this is one of the main factors that puts people off it, as PCs are generally a lot more expensive than consoles. Your entry-level gaming PCs, if you want to just play it on the lowest settings, it's about £500 to get that PC, and that's if you're building it. Now, consoles do get the upper hand on PCs when it comes to movement, as if you look at a controller, you see the analog stick that you have to move around, it can move and rotate 360 degrees. And on a keyboard, you've only got the 4 keys of W, A, S and D to move around, which means you can only move 4 ways. Now, this is quite important, but if you weigh it up with the other pros I've listed, such as the better FPS, the more control over your aim, the more customization settings that you have for graphics, and in the end, you've just got to weigh up whether it's worth your money and time. And with the general overview out the way, I'm just going to give you a rundown on how my first-hand experience went in the first couple of hours of playing. I found the aiming part to be quite easy to get used to, a lot easier than I expected, and it was more the controls of leaning left and right, how to pull out your drone, and those sort of controls that were the more trickier ones to learn. But over time, I'm sure I'll be able to learn these pretty well. And with me already knowing the mechanics in depth and the strategies to use, all I really have to do is get used to the controls, and that'll just take a bit of time and a bit of effort. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. Make sure to give this video a like if it did help you out, and make sure to subscribe to stay updated with the best tips and tricks in Rainbow Six Siege. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.